It is a curious thing. But things that are good to have, and days that are good to spend, are soon told about, and not much to listen to. While things that are uncomfortable, palpitating, and even gruesome may make a good tale, and take a deal of telling anyway. Here we are, in the very nick of time. It may seem, but it is not so. Believe rather that it is so ordered that we, and none other, must now bear witness to the perils of one little hobbit. For the world is indeed full of peril, and in it are many dark places. But you must remember, no matter how dark and scary it may be, there is to be no flash photography or recording of any kind. If you wish to purchase a recording, there will be a sign-up sheet in the back of the computer. Please do not leave your seats during the performance. It can be very distracting and not to mention dangerous. Lastly, please keep your masks on so that our actors can safely unmask during their performances. Remember, there are no safe paths in this part of the world. You are over the edge of the wild now, and in it for lots of fun.
Dragons. Never laugh at life, dragons. Never laugh at life, dragons. Good morning.
Do you wish me a good morning? Do you mean that it is a good morning? Or that you feel good this morning?
All of them, at once. And a very fine morning for a bite to eat and a pipe of tobacco outdoors and into the bargain.
Yes, very pretty. But I've no time for those smoke rings. I'm looking for someone to share an adventure I'm arranging, and it's very difficult to find anybody.
Oh, I should think so. We're plain quiet folk around here and have no use for adventures. The nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. I'm making way for meals of which I need at least 6 a day. Good morning. We don't want any adventures here, thank you. I'll try over the hill or across the water.
What a lot of things to use good morning for. And now you mean you want to get rid of me?
Oh, no, not at all, dear sir. But I don't think I know your name.
Oh, but I do know your name, Mr. Bilbo Baggins. And of course you do know my name. I'm Gandalf.
Oh, Gandalf. Oh, goodness gracious me. Oh, not the wandering wizard who gave my grandfather a pair of magic diamond studs. Oh, not the fellow who used to tell such wonderful tales about goblins and dragons and giants. I beg your pardon, I had no idea you were still in business.
Well, should I be? All the same, I'm pleased to find you remember something of me. And for the sake of your dear grandfather, who's a great adventurer, I'll give you what you asked for.
I beg your pardon, I haven't asked for anything.
Yes, you have. Twice. My pardon. I give it to you. In fact, I'll go so far as to send you on this adventure I'm arranging. Very amusing for me, and very good for you. And profitable too, if you ever get over it.
Sorry, I don't want any adventures, thank you. Not today.
Oh, but I have someone waiting to meet you, over there, under the trees. And since I'm here, and he's here, and you're here, I'm afraid you'll have to meet him. Today. Mr. Bilbo Baggins, I would like you to meet Mr. Thorn Oakenshield. Thorn, this is Bilbo.
How do you do? How do you do, fellow conspirator? What do you mean, fellow conspirator? And what's all this about an adventure?
Thorn, why don't you tell him?
With pleasure. Gandalf, Mr. Baggins, we are gathered here today at the home of this most excellent and audacious hobbit. May the hair on his toes never fall out. To discuss our plans, ways, means, policy, and devices. This is a solemn moment. You and I, Mr. Baggins, with the help of our friend Gandalf the Wizard, shall soon start on a long journey. A journey from which we may never return.
Oh, well, I don't know so much about that. Oh, strip our lady, strip our lady, strip our lady.
Excitable little fellow, isn't he? Guess funny things, but he's one of the best, one of the best. As fierce as a dragon in a pinch.
It's very well for you to talk about this hobbit being fierce, but one shriek like that in a moment of excitement would be enough to wake the dragon and all of his relatives to kill us. I've had my doubts about him ever since I clapped my eyes on him. He looks more like a grocer than a burglar.
Pardon me, I don't pretend to understand what you're talking about or your reference to burglars, but I think I'm right in believing you think I'm no good. I resent that. Tell me what you want done and I'll do it.
Now, you two. Thorn, I've chosen Mr. Baggins because he's the right man for the job. There's a lot more in him than you can tell, and a deal more than he has any idea of himself. Now, let's have a look at that map. It's a plan of Lonely Mountain.
I don't see that this will help us much. I remember the mountain, and there's a dragon marked in red on it. It'll be easy enough to find him without this map.
Yes, but there's one point you haven't noticed. It's the secret entrance.
It may have been a secret once, but how do we know it's a secret any longer? Old Smog has lived there long enough now to figure out anything there is to know about those caves of his.
Yes, but he can't have used it for years and years.
Why is that?
Because it's too small, just 5 feet high. Smog the dragon couldn't fit into a hole that size. Certainly not devouring so many of the maidens in the valley.
Oh, it seems a great big hole to me.
And it's guarded by a door that's made to look exactly like the side of the mountain. Be sure to keep that map safe.
Indeed I will.
Oh, but why are you going to slay the dragon?
Haven't we told you?
We're going to steal back its gold and treasure.
Oh.
And that's where you come in. As the chosen and selected burglar to help Thorn get back what was stolen from him, and that's rightfully his. Now, why don't we go along and make some plans?
Oh, wait a minute. First, I'd like to know a bit more about things. I'd be much obliged if you refer to me as something other than a burglar.
Bless me. Haven't you seen the map? And haven't we been talking about all this?
All the same, I'd like to know the risks, the out-of-pocket expenses, the time required, the pay, and so forth.
Very well. Long ago in my grandfather's day, we dwarves mined and tunneled and grew rich and prosperous from the golden jewels we discovered. That was what brought us to Smog the dragon's attention. Old Smog flew in our mountain in a spout of flames, and before long, he'd wiped out nearly all of us dwarves and stolen every last ounce of our golden jewels. Now it's time we got it back.
See.
And if you don't like being called a burglar, how about expert treasure hunter? Though it comes to much the same thing.
That's much better, thank you.
All right, then, my fine expert treasure hunter. We'll be setting out tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.
But...
No buts about it. Tomorrow morning, Green Dragon Inn, 11 a.m. sharp. Don't be late.
Before I knew where I was or what was happening, it was tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. sharp, and I found myself at the Green Dragon Inn. And then it was tomorrow afternoon, and then it was tomorrow evening, and I was trudging through an endless, dark forest. Both adventures and treasure hunting and everything to do with them. I wish I was at home in my nice hole with something to eat by the fire.
It is about time we stop for supper, if we can find a dry patch to light a fire and sleep on.
Splendid idea, but where's Gandalf?
I don't know. I think he's up ahead of it, reconnoitering. How about you stay here and set up camp, and I'll go find him.
Right, but don't be long.
Mutton yesterday, mutton today, and blimey if it don't look like mutton tomorrow.
Never a blinking bit of man flesh for ever so long. What the hell William was thinking of to bring us to these parts, it all beats me. Who are you? Blimey, look what I've caught.
What is it?
Lummy if I knows. What are you?
I'm Bilbo Baggins, a burrow hobbit.
A burrow Now, what's a burrow hobbit got to do with my pockets anyways?
Can you cook 'em?
He won't make a rubber mouthful, not when he's been skinned and boned.
Perhaps there are more like him round about and we might be able to make a pie. Here you, are there any more of your sort of sneaking in these here woods?
Yes, lots. No, not one!
What do you mean?
What'd I say? Oh, and please don't make me kind, sirs, please don't.
Poor little blighter. We've had enough to eat. Let him go.
Not till he says what he means by lots and none at all.
I won't have it. I call him anyways.
You're a fool.
And you're a lout.
I won't take that from you.
Bilbo!
Quick, there are more to come or I might have mistook.
Come on, let's hide.
Oh.
I heard what sounded like trouble.
It's trolls! They're hiding in the shadows!
Oh, are they?
No good roasting, I'm gonna take all night to light a fire.
Don't start that argument all over with me again or it'll take all night.
Who's arguing?
You are.
You're a liar.
No good roasting, no good boiling, and we ain't got no water.
Let's sit and squash and cook them later.
Don't talk to yourself.
Now stop it.
No, you stop it. The night's getting on and Dawn will be here soon. It's time we got out of here.
Dawn take you all and turn you to stone. That will keep them quiet forever.
Thank goodness you arrived in time, Gandalf.
Thank you for turning those dreadful trolls to stone.
At your service. Now, let's not waste any more time nor energy. Those trolls must have a hole or cave near here. We must look for the door.
I found this on the ground after the trolls had their fight. Would it be of any help?
I never did you say so before. Bilbo, you stay here and keep watch. Come on forward. Look at what we found right inside the door. They're very fine blades indeed.
And look what I got.
Food! Wonderful.
Now, if we can make the runes on these weapons, we'll know more about them. In the meantime, why don't we have some food?
What a wonderful idea. Because of our last night's adventures with the trolls, we didn't get very far the next day. But within 2 more days, we were out of the damp, dark forest into a lovely green valley. And the creatures we met during our first night in the valley were a vast improvement on the trolls, too. Welcome. We've heard of exploits of the trolls, and I've prepared food for our arrival. Quite famous in these parts.
Thank you, Elrond. One of the reasons we wanted to meet with you was to see if you could tell us anything about these swords.
These swords are not made by trolls. The very old tales of the elves, not called gnomes. This thorn was the name Orchest, Guiding Cleaver. It was a famous blade. This, Gandalf, is Glamdring, Fullhammer. It was once worn by the King of Scotland. Keep them well.
I'll keep this sword with honor.
And I, my splendid knight,
May it soon clean goblins once again.
which that's why you've granted. It's enough in the mountains. But show me your map so that we can set you on the right track again. What is this? There are moon letters here.
What are moon letters?
They can only be seen when the moon shines behind them. Those invented didn't wrote them with separate pen.
What do they say?
Good question.
Stand by the gray stone when thrush knocks. Setting sun will shine upon the keyhole.
Does it say anything else?
Not to be seen by this one. But come now, let's go have supper.
Cool.
Elrond was a wonderful host, and we sang and danced and ate a lot that night. The next morning was a midsummer morning, as fair and fresh as though it could be cheered, with the blue sky, no clouds, and the sun dancing overhead. Believe it or not, we were ready for more adventures. But what we weren't ready for was getting lost in terrible weather that blew up the afternoon. What's worse, we were lost for days. Summer's getting on down below. Soon there'll be haymaking and picnics, and there'll be harvesting and blackberrying before we even begin to go down the other side of the Misty Mountains at this rate.
If we don't get blown off or drowned or struck by lightning, we'll be picked up by some giant and kicked sky high for a football.
We'll have to find somewhere dry before we get soaked to the skin.
You miserable people! Up to no good or warrant. Spies! Or thieves! Or friends of elves and murderers? What have you to say for yourselves?
Thorn the door, fetcher service. We were just looking for shelter from the storm. Nothing was further from our thoughts than inconveniencing goblins in any way whatsoever.
So you say. But what are you doing up in the mountains at all?
We're visiting our relatives. Our nephews and nieces and cousins who live on the east side of these truly hospitable mountains.
He's a liar, killed tremendous one. He has to explain this. It's a troll sword to scale under the goblins.
Murderers! Slash them, beat them, bite them, gnash them. Take them away to dark holes filled with snakes and never put us in the box again.
Quick, follow me! Quicker, quicker!
Why, did I ever leave my household?
Why, oh why did we ever bring a wretched little hobbit on a treasure hunt?
About turn, draw your swords!
A ring? I wonder who owns it.
Bless us and splash us, my precious. I guess it's choice fees, so at least a tasty morsel for us. Gaia.
Who are you?
Who is he, my precious?
I'm Bilbo Baggins. I've lost Thorn the Dwarf. I've lost Gandalf the Wizard. I don't know where I am.
What's he got in his hands?
A sword! A blade!
Perhaps we censor and chats a bit. My precious, it likes riddles, does it? Does it?
Yes, I love riddles. Why don't you ask one?
All right. What has roots, as nobody sees, is taller than trees. Up, up it goes, and yet never grows.
Easy. Mountain.
Does it get easy? It must have a competition with us, precious. If precious asks and it doesn't answer, we ace it, my precious. But if it asks us and we doesn't answer, we does what it wants, eh? We shall the safe way out of the Misty Mountains.
All right. 30 white horses on the red hill. First they champ, and then they stamp, and then they stand still.
Chestnuts, chestnuts! It's teeth, of course, but we only have 6. My precious, now it's my turn again. Voices and cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters.
Half a moment. It's wind! Wind, of course! Now it's my turn again.
Come on now, ask us!
What have I got in my pocket?
Not fair, my precious.
Wrong. Guess again. Wrong. Last guess. Come on. I'm waiting. Time's up.
Shame or nothing.
That's 2 last guesses. Not 1. But they're both wrong. Well, what about your promise? I want to go and you must show me the way.
Did we say show, Precious? Show the nasty beckons the way out. But what has it got in its pockets? Not string, not nothing. Oh no, Gollum.
Never you mind. A promise is a promise.
Cross, is it? Impatient, Precious? But it must wait. Yes, it must wait. We must go and get some things first. Things to help us.
All right. Hurry up.
Oh, I will, my precious bow tie. It's my birthday present I want, isn't it? Where is it? Where is it? Lost it is! Lost! Lost! Curse us and curses, my precious is lost!
What's the matter? What have you lost?
It wasn't us. Now it's business. It's gone, Gollum!
Well, so am I. I want to get unlost, and you promised, so come along and show me the way out.
No, not yet. We must search for it. It's gone!
But you never guessed my last question, and you promised.
Never guessed? What has it got in its pockets? Tell us that. It must tell us that first.
Answers were to be guessed, not given.
But it wasn't a fair question, not a riddle, Precious. No!
Well, if it's a matter of ordinary questions, I asked one first. What have you lost? Tell me that.
What has it got in its pockets?
What have you lost?
What has it got in its pockets?
What have I got in my pocket, I wonder?
Curse it! Curse the bag! It's gone! It must have had my birthday present in its pockets! Curse it! It must have slipped out after all these ages and ages in the back and must have found it! Curse it! But maybe it doesn't know what our birthday present can do. If it puts it on its finger, no one will be able to see it. It'll be completely invisible. We must catch up with the dragons before it puts it on and becomes invisible and gets away. Hurry! Hurry!
So that's it. That's why Gollum was so upset. The ring I found was his, and it has the ability to make its wearer invisible. Very useful. But I should hurry up after Gollum and follow him out of this slippery, slimy place. Got right on the side of the Misty Mountains, right on the edge of the land beyond. But where are the others? Oh, I hate being alone. What's that? Oh, it's Gandalf and Thorn! Oh, thank goodness. I think I'll give them a little surprise.
After all, Bilbo is my friend. Not a bad young chap. I feel responsible for him. I wish to goodness you hadn't lost him.
Why did you bring him along with us at all? He's been more trouble than you so far. If we have to go back into the Misty Mountains to find him, drag him, I say.
I brought him, and I don't bring things that are of no use. Either you help me find him, or I'll leave you here to get the situation as best as you can. Why on earth did you lose him in the first place?
Because there were goblins everywhere, fighting and biting in the dark. Why didn't you keep track of him, Baggins? He's your Hobbit, not mine. And you are a wizard after all.
Here's your burglar.
Where did you come from?
Oh, I just kept him on, very carefully and quietly.
Well, it's the first time that even a mouse has crept by carefully and quietly under my nose without being spotted. I take off my hood to you.
Well, take that as a compliment. Though I still don't like being referred to as a burglar. Oh, I think of myself as a
Well, whatever you call it, it's wonderful to have you back with us, Bilbo. Though I believe we must keep going. For even though Thorn and I managed to kill the great goblins, there's still other goblins around.
I'm so dreadfully hungry.
Can't be helped. We must just tighten our belts and treasure on. Or we ourselves shall make the supper. And that'll be much worse than having none ourselves.
Oh, I suppose so.
Come on, off we go.
There she is. Here we are at last. Mirkwood, the greatest and darkest of the forests in the northern Weald. Now, I hope you like the look of it, because this is where I'm leading you to.
What? No, Gandalf! You've got to stay with us.
It's no use arguing. I have pressing business away south. We may meet again before this is all over, but then again, we may not. That depends on your courage, your luck, and your sense. So cheer up, Bilbo. Don't look so glum. Cheer up, Thorn. This is your expedition, after all. Think of the treasure at the end. And forget about the dragon, of course. At any rate, until tomorrow morning. For now, your path is straight through the forest. Don't leave the path. If you do, it's 1,000 to 1 you'll find it, and you'll never get out of Mirkwood.
But do we really have to go through?
Yes, you do. You must either go through, or you can give up the quest.
Is there no way round?
Or over?
There is. If you care to go 200 miles out of your way, while sprouting wings. Your best choice of action is to go straight through the forest, and don't leave the path. And with some courage and a tremendous slice of luck, you may come out one day in a lonely mountain where the old smug lives, though he isn't expecting you.
Very comforting you are, to be sure. Well, goodbye. If you're not going to be joining us, you best get off without any more talk.
Yes, all right then. Goodbye. Be good. Take care. And don't leave the path.
Oh, goodbye, and go away.
Well, I suppose we just as well should keep going.
Yes.
It seems as though Mirkwood goes on forever and ever.
I wonder if we'll ever get through it. Gandalf didn't sound too hopeful, did he?
No, he certainly didn't.
Wait, what's that?
What's what?
I think I see some lights over there.
Do you think whoever it is has some food to spare?
We can't just rush over to lights. A feast wouldn't be any good if we never came back alive from it.
But without a feast, we shan't remain alive much longer anyways. Let's creep over very quietly and have a look at what they have going on.
All right, but very quietly. The lights have disappeared.
So they have.
Wait, there's some over there.
Oh, in there!
And there! But whenever we get near them, they go out. They must be magic.
I guess we'll just remain hungry then.
I suppose so. What's that?
What's what?
It's something sticky and nasty.
It's spiderweb. Giant spiderweb! Oh, don't tell me that they have giant spiders in Mirkwood as well as everything else.
I'm afraid so. The sooner we get out of here, the better.
Thorn, we've lost the path. We'll never get out alive now.
Yes, we will. We just need to find the path again. Let's each go off in a different direction and call out when we find it.
All right, then. I don't like this idea at all. I shall give you a name. I shall call you Sting. Why didn't we listen to Gandalf's advice? Why did we lose the path? We? I only wish it were we. It's horrible being all alone. Thorn! Can you hear me, Thorn?
Well, well, what have we here?
I'm Dwarf Majesty. Thorin is my name.
And why did you and your elusive companion try to attack my people with their merrymaking?
We didn't try to attack them, Your Majesty. We were just attracted to their lights in search of food.
What were you doing first?
Searching for food and drink because we were starving and thirsty.
What brought you into the forest at all? Very well, you will have to remain my prisoner until you feel inclined to tell me the truth. Fasten him securely in chains.
But what have I done, O Queen? Is it a crime to be lost in the forest? To be starving and thirsty? Or to be trapped by spiders? Are spiders your tame beasts or your pets if killing them makes you angry?
It is a crime to wander in my realm without leave. Do you forget you using the road my people made? And didn't you pursue and trouble my people in the forest? And rouse the spiders with your right and clamor? You'll simply have to remain my prisoner until you've learned sense and manners. Come now, let's leave this gentleman alone for a while. Continuing hunger should bring him to his senses soon enough.
Don't say anything. It's me, Bilbo. Just listen to what I have to say. You can't see me because I'm invisible and have a magic ring. Oh, I'll unlock your chains first. Now you must follow me. I have a plan so you can both escape. Don't argue.
Upon my word, Bilbo, I wasn't going to argue. I was just going to say that Gandalf spoke true, as usual. A pretty fine burglar. Sorry, expert treasure hunter. You make it seem when the time comes. I'm sure I'm forever in your debt, whatever happens after this. But what comes next?
I'm going to stow you away in an empty wine cask and float you down the Mirkwood River and out of the Wood Elf's realm.
But I'll be bruised and battered to pieces, or drowned. This is a bad idea.
Very well. I'll chain you up again and you can sit here comfortably while you think of a better plan.
No, Bilbo. It's best we leave while we still can. Even a floating barrel is better than being locked up forever.
You can imagine what an awful, absolutely horrid river journey it was for both Bilbo and Thorn. Thorn may have been inside the cask where he was reasonably dry, but it smelled quite dreadful and was almost airless, not to mention the battering and the bruising as the barrel was sucked along and dashed against rocks. But Bilbo may have been worse off. He had to cling onto the outside of the cask, which kept rolling over and ducking into the icy cold water. But eventually, dripping cold, wet, clammy, and a bunch of other things, our sorry pair did arrive at Laketown, the next stop on their seemingly endless journey.
Well, here we are, Laketown. I suppose we have to thank our stars, and you, Mr. Baggins, again. I'm sure you have a right to expect it, though I wish you could have arranged a more comfortable journey.
Nice and tired.
So, what now?
Well, Well, I suppose we'll take a look and tell us that's where we are.
Who are you? What do you want? I am Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thor, king under the mountain. I have come back. I wish to speak with the master of J.R.R.
And who is this?
This is Mr. Bilbo Baggins, who has traveled with me out of the west.
If you come in peace, lay down your weapons.
We have none. We have no need for weapons, and even if we did have them, we couldn't fight against so many Laketown dwellers. Now, will you please lead us to your master?
He's at a feast. Well, all the more reason to take us to him. We're worn out and famished after our long journey.
Now, what's all this? I've already been told that some strangers have arrived in a very strange way.
I am Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thor, king under the mountain. I returned.
And what are your plans now that, as you say, you have returned?
My companion and I, Mr. Bilbo Baggins, are headed for Lovely Mountain to regain my stolen treasure from Smaug the dragon.
Very well. You must claim your own. Evidently, the hour is at hand. Spoken of old. What help we can offer shall be yours, and we trust to your gratitude when your treasure is regained. Now, won't you join us at the feast?
We'd be honored, good sir.
Speaking for myself, I can't wait. I'm very, very hungry. You can be sure that I, and Thorn too, ate enough for 2 hobbits, enough for 2 dwarves for that matter, and after a good night's sleep, we were up the lonely mountain bright and early the next morning.
There lies all that is left of Dale. The mountain sides once green with woods, and all the sheltered valley rich and pleasant in those days when the bells rang through that town.
Let us go back. We can do no good here. Oh, I don't like all those dark birds. They look like spies of evil.
No, Bilbo, we've come too far. We must finish our quest.
Beards will go till they hang down from the valley. Unless we do something about it. I still have my magic ring, which renders me invisible, so I'm the one who should do it.
What do you have in mind?
Give me the key and map Gandalf gave us, and I'll see what I can discover.
You've proved yourself a good companion, and a hobbit full of courage far exceeding your size. Good luck.
Thank you, Thorn. Now I want you to go off and find yourself a safe hiding place, so you can come to my rescue if I get into trouble. Off you go. Now you're in for it, Bilbo Baggins. Oh, you're gonna put your foot in right on the day that Gandalf came visiting. What's this? It's a secret entrance to Smaug's lair. All right. No use to lay any longer. This will show them more like a grocer than a burglar indeed. We'll have no more of that. I'll just sneak inside and take a tiny look.
Thieves! Fire! Murder!
There's no doubt that Smaug's still alive and in the cave on the lonely mountain. Thank goodness he's too big to get at me through the secret entrance. Smaug! Come take a look at what I discovered! Look at what I found! And look at what I've got!
Good for you, Bilbo. But what are you going to do about Smaug now that you've made him so angry? And what about the rest of the treasure? For heaven's sake, do something quick!
Well, what am I supposed to do? I wasn't engaged to kill Baggins, only to take back stolen treasure.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Baggins, but what do we do now?
No idea at the moment, but obviously depends entirely on getting rid of Smaug. I'm trying my best to think of something. I still have my magic ring, so I'll put it on again and become invisible. I'd rather think that Smaug will come of his main entrance looking for me. You go back to your hiding place. Roar! Quick!
Well, I can smell it, and I
Smog the Tremendous. I did not come for treasure. I only wished to have a look at you and see if you were as great as the tales say. I did not believe them.
Well, do you believe them now?
Truly, songs and tales so utterly short of reality. Oh, Smog, the greatest and chiefest of calamities.
You're less manners for a thief and a liar. But I don't remember smelling you before. Who are you and where do you come from?
Oh, I come from under the hills, and under the hills, and over the hills my paths led. I am he that walks unseen.
Lovely titles. So I can well believe you, but that's hardly your usual name.
I'm Clue Finder, Web Cutter, the Stinging Fly. I was chosen by the great wizard.
Lovely titles, but do they mean anything?
I'm Wing Winner, I am Luck Wearer, and I am Barrel Rider.
Don't let your imagination run away with you now, old Barrel Rider. I'll give you one piece of advice. Don't have more to do with doors than you can handle.
Dwarves?
Don't try to fool me. I know the smell and taste of doors. And I don't mind if you go tell that dwarf you with exactly what I've just said. In the meantime, I suppose you two are here for my treasure. Whatever you say to the contrary.
You don't know everything, O Smog the Mighty. Not gold alone brought us here.
I'm pleased to hear you have other business in these parts besides my gold.
I tell you, the gold is only an afterthought with us. We came by wave and wind for revenge. Surely, O Smog the Tremendous, you do realize your success has made you some bitter enemies?
Ha! Revenge? Revenge? The king under the mountain is dead. And where is his kin? Can that dare seek revenge? I kill wherever I wish, and none dare resist. My armor is like 10 gold shields. My teeth swords, my claws spears. The shark of my tail, a thunderbolt. My wings, a hurricane. My breath, death.
I've come to understand that dragons tend to be softer underneath, especially in the region of the, chest. Oh, but I'm sure one so fortified has thought of that.
Your information is quite antiquated. I'm armored above and below with iron scales and hard gems. No blade can pierce me.
I should have guessed. There can be nowhere found the equal of Lord Smog the Impenetrable. What magnificence.
Yes, I am rare and wonderful.
Dazzling, perfect, flawless, staggering. Like the old fool, there's a large hole in the left side of his chest. Well, I must not detain your magnificence any longer, or keep you from your much-needed rest. Maidens take some catching, you know, and, so do burglars.
I'll be back, Gold Barrel Rider. And next time, I'll catch you and I'll eat you!
Never laugh at life jackets, Bilbo. Never laugh at life jackets. Even when you're invisible. This adventure isn't over yet.
Are you all right, Bilbo? I heard and saw everything. You were magnificent. Just as well I had such a good hiding spot.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you, Thorin. But now you know exactly what we're up against.
Yes, I do. It may be a great blessing to know about that bear patch in the old dwarf's chest.
Very true. But it isn't safe here. Smog's bound to come back if we do. Let's get well away before he does.
Let's decide what to do next.
You were right about Smog's treasure. There's tons and tons of it. And I only saw a tiny part of it.
Exactly, Mr. Baggins. Smog has almost all of the wealth of this part of the world in his power.
When I hadn't shown you the gem I took for myself, you must remember saying I could have a share of the treasure. Here it is.
It's the Arkenstone! The Arkenstone! The Arkenstone of Thrain! It's beyond value, beyond belief. Smog is about to do everything in his power to get it back.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's much, much more than merely beautiful.
You must admit that I'm a good burglar, as you unfortunately call me now.
Oh, I do, Mr. Baggins. I do.
Now, Throne, let me have the gem back for safekeeping. You shouldn't forget that I can turn myself, and it, invisible if needed be.
Take great care of him, Mr. Baggins. It is utterly irreplaceable.
The dragon is coming! Smog is coming! To arms! To arms! Look what your adventuring has done! The whole town is in danger! Our lives are at stake! What are you going to do about it? What should I tell my company of archers to do?
Well, look for the hollow on the left side of the dragon's chest as he flies overhead. It's the only vulnerable spot. Unless you pierce it, we're done for.
I have saved my faithful black arrow for Smog. It has never failed me, and always I have recovered it. I had it from my father, and he from of old. If ever it came from the forges of the true king under the mountain, may it speed well and true to its appointed target.
Here it comes! You won't get many chances, Bard. Make the most of your first one.
I will. Arrow, black arrow, fly straight into your target and save us all from destruction.
You've done it, Bard! God bless you.
Yes, I have slain Bard. Slain Smog, slain the enemy, but that is because I am Bard. Queen Bard, the Dragon Slayer.
Hooray for Bard! Hooray for the Dragon Slayer!
Let Bard go back to her own kingdom, but the share of Smog's treasure she's no doubt earned. The rest will stay here and enjoy again peace and riches.
We must be leaving soon.
Wisely spoken, Thorn Oakenshield. We will remove the body of our old enemy and leave you to prepare for your departure.
I must regain my black arrow from Smog's body. Fear that I'll need it again soon. Wait! Thorn Oakenshield, you and I still have some business to discuss regarding Smog's treasure. At least part of it belongs to me.
No, your business with Thorn has come to an end. This is the Arkenstone, the Eye of the Mountain. Thorn values above a river of gold, but I give it to you, Bard, as your share of Smog's treasure. For without you and your black arrow, we would have no treasure to share.
No, Bilbo, no!
But how's it yours to give, Mr. Baggins?
It isn't, exactly, but I'm willing to let it stand against all my claims to treasure in Smog's cave. Well, I may be a burglar, as Thorn and Gandalf unfortunately call me, but I'm an honest burglar, only taking back what was stolen by Smog. I hope you found the Arkenstone useful.
By the beard of Darn, I wish I had Gandalf here. Curse him for his choice of you, Bilbo Baggins. May his beard wither. As for you, I will throw you to the rocks.
Stop! Here's Gandalf! And none too soon, it seems. Thorn, if you don't like my expert treasure hunter, then please don't damage him. Listen to what he has to say.
I will never listen to him again.
Oh, don't worry about him. And well done, Bilbo. There's always more to you than anybody can ever expect.
Gandalf, I wonder if we ever see you again.
Well, here I am.
But what about me and my Arkenstone? This miserable hobbit, this undersized burglar, has given it to Bard.
He had a perfect right to.
You all seem in league against me. Never again will I have dealings with any wizard, or any hobbit for that matter. What have you to say for yourself, Mr. Baggins, you descendant of brats?
Dear me, I'm sure this is all very uncomfortable. You must remember saying I could have a share of the treasure. I guess I took it too literally. This was all the same when it seems I've been so used to you. Just take it that the Arkenstone was my share of the treasure and leave it at that.
I will. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel betrayed. And no good will come of this. Wars have been fought for less.
Now, Thorn, we can arrange for the rest of the journey to divide among you, your relatives, and descendants. You will all be very wealthy and powerful dwarves. But now, I believe it is time for us all to go home.
It was a long and tiring journey back home, but Gandalf and I eventually made it. If only Thorn had come with us. I still feel terribly sad and guilty about that. Doubly so because Bard insisted on giving me some of her share of Smog's treasure in exchange for the Arkenstone.
Here we are, Bilbo. Home at last.
Oh, bless me.
Oh, and don't forget about that magic of yours. We'll be needing it on your next adventure.
Oh no, Gandalf, no more adventures for me. The only thing I'll use my magic ring for now is when unpleasant callers come knocking at my door.
Don't you believe it, Mr. Baggins. I'm not the stay-at-home hobbit you were when we first met, and that ring is even more magic, more important than you think. After the grand adventure you've just had, you'll soon find yourself yearning for another, and that ring might just lead you on it.
No, Gandalf, I've had quite enough adventure for one hobbit.
You're a very fine hobbit, Mr. Baggins, and I'm very fond of you. However, you are only quite a little fellow in a wide, wide world, after all.
Oh, thank goodness. Whenever you're passing by, don't hesitate to knock. A tea is at 4, but you're welcome at any time.
How long did it take to rehearse?
Okay, whatever. Okay, so the auditions were end of August, and then we started rehearsing, I think, September 1st, or the beginning of September, let's just say. So 3 months, we practiced every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Sometimes we had to cancel because, you know, we're busy people. So we did a lot of practicing, and then the last week, before the show, like last week, whatever, we practiced every day of the week, you know, to get everything really set in place for you guys.
I played Bilbo in the play, and I would say I love how he is willing to help people, even though he didn't really want to. He heard Thorin's story and was like, you know what, I guess.
Yes?
I just so cute.
Are the swords we use real? No, the swords are not real, sadly.
Yes.
They're just made out of wood. A lot of wood. And then glue.
Help make all the props.
So first we had Miss Harmony, who I don't know where she's missing.
Okay, yeah, she's here. She has a ring around.
She's busy.
And then we also had a group of kids who would come in and help make the props.
There are a couple of them here right now. Yeah, a couple of them in the crowd. Chris, you helped make one, right? You want to stand up? He helped make a lot of them.
in the school, in some of our schools, how many of us participate if there are like theater? Oh.
Yeah, just raise your hand. Okay. I'm curious about this too.
My school doesn't have theater stuff.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing?
What was the hardest thing? I don't know what it nailed.
Okay. The hardest thing. Let me think about that. Okay, the hardest thing that we had to do, I feel like, was mostly memorize the lines. I feel like that was a pretty hard one. And then also memorize the blocking.
Oh, I was worse.
So blocking is basically, you see all the movements that we did here? Yeah, we had to memorize those.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Some of them made up on the spot.
Are there any other? Yes.
I got a question.
Yes, and we swallow hair a lot.
One more question back there.
My other question for my guy right here.
Darian?
How hard was it to like play different parts and stuff like that?
Okay. I know this one well. So my first part, once I'm done with that scene, I have to run. I have to run and then put on my costume like really fast, cause like that scene is right next to the scene I just got done doing. So and then my other scene, it's done. It's like intermission, and then I go into that scene. So it's pretty hard for me.
Pretty good.